Words of wisdom. Don't let your son set up the tent because he always takes the best sleeping mat and the best sleeping bag. Double check everything. That's my words of wisdom.
Hiya, it's Graham here. I've been lucky enough to get out again. How lucky am I? And this time I'm out with my brother-in-law. I don't get to see him very often because he lives 200 miles south in a little village near Leicester. But he's up for a couple of days and he asked me to take him wild camping with his son, my nephew, and he's just a young lad. Flipping neck. Before Mark lived in this country, he's Canadian from Ontario, and I thought, where can I take him tonight that'll rival the magnificent, pristine wilderness and beauty of you know, the Canadian wilderness? So I thought I'll take him to Dunmoor Hill in the Cheviots via Cunyon Crags. That's interesting. We'll do that. But as it happened, the weather forecast wasn't really with us. We've had this is just mid-August, and we've had a really beautiful weekend of scorching temperatures. But now the forecast is for a lot of rain, which wouldn't really put us off, but the forecast was a yellow warning for thunder and lightning as well. And I've said before, that's the only real weather circumstances that puts us off from camping. I just want to get zapped in a metal pole tent, holding a metal pole tripod in the air when I'm talking to it. So I decided not to go into the heart of the Cheviots, but still, you know, come out, but somewhere easy where we could bail if the weather turned. So I've come to one of my really familiar spots, my favourite camping spot really. It's a half-hour drive, it's a short walk, and I've got fantastic views over Rothbury and a beautiful landscape. So I'm here again, and actually the weather's held out. It's really foggy, like a mist everywhere, a sea fret I guess, but it's still really warm and there's no midges and the air's completely still. It's still a beautiful night, but I think it'll be a cracking night. Let's see how it goes. Check this out, it's like a proper little hidey hole. It's not an overhang, it's not a cave, it's just a little hidey hole under the tumbled boulders. Exactly the place where a Durgar would hang out. So to give Mark, my brother-in-law, his full credit, he's responsible for what I think is one of my greatest kind of wilderness outdoor experiences. I was going through a really bad time in the, personally in the early 2000s, and Mark had been in this country for a while, but he decided to cheer us up. He would take us to Canada for, I can't remember, 2 or 3 weeks, to his home province of Ontario, and sort of explore Toronto and stuff. And one of the best things we did was his family had access to a shack in the northern wilderness, and I remember one day just piling up a 4x4 with canoes and fishing tackle and fishing rods and shotguns and shotgun pellets and stuff. Is it pellets? Shotgun pellets? Shotgun slugs? Anyway, shotgun bangy things, and driving for 9 hours north into the wilderness, and there was no roads to this tin shack, so we had to hire a boat and go upstream in a boat for several miles till we got there, absolutely middle of nowhere. And we just spent a few days there fishing for a supper, practicing with shotguns, hiking through to the thousands of lakes that are there, and you know, finding a boat on the shore and going in the middle and fishing and drinking beer and good crack. I owe Mark a lot for that, hence why I'm happy to show him one of my favourite camp spots in Northumberland. I hope he appreciates it. Well done.
Okay.
I've given Mark my DD mesh pyramid tent and cover to put up, and I was hoping to get some video of him like failing hilariously to put it up, but actually he's doing really well, so that's a real shame. There's a sort of one of the unwritten laws of wild camping is that you don't help another man with his tent unless he's desperate and he asks, so just letting you get on if that's alright.
Okay,
yeah, but it helps there if you need it, but you've got to ask. Starting to rain quite heavy now. I must have taken the inner and the outer and the fly apart last time to dry it, and I came to the pocket was separated. I hadn't realised, so I've just put the outer up for now to get out the rain, and it feels kind of cosy in here already with just the outer, and it's sort of tempting just to sleep in this tonight, but I think I'm going to put the inner up just in case we get some flies in the morning or something. But yeah, great tent. Great. It's either a great tent or I just love camping. I just love being in a tent. No better. Oh yeah. Love listening to rain on the fly sheet. Like when I do a night shift, it's hard to sleep during the day, so I sometimes just listen to like this is the saddest thing I've ever admitted to, but you know, like going on YouTube and listening to pre-recorded sort of like rain on tent soundtracks to get to sleep. And I just finished nights this morning, so I'm all topsy-turvy, so actually a bit of rain will probably help us to sleep. Not a bad thing.
Camp food.
Pretty good.
Xander will love it.
Looks alright, that.
We'll go save Xander from the tent. Can't open it from the inside.
It was a bit of a last minute grab food for camping because I finished night shift, so I've got nothing special. I've got a little tin of vegetable chilli. I've got whole grain red and wild microwavable rice. I'll spice the whole thing up with a bit of chilli. And what else is in here? I've got a couple of these. I always find out when you pack these in your dry bag there's not much room for anything else. I didn't bring a chopping board with me, so I'll have to make do. Do you think it's time for step 2?
I'm on to step 2 already.
Ah, aren't you?
You need a...
Yeah, as your fellow Canadian would say.
Can I offer you a
luminous lights? Yeah, I'll take one of these bad boys. Thank you. We've seen the strength of these things, 7.4. They're good tasting IPA as well, and nice. I reckon I could put a couple more chilies, slices of chili in there and not die.
I thought you would have had one of your new fancy knives.
Well, I wanted something that looked really old school.
It does.
Like, you know, burnished bone jigged handle, sensible blades. It's the sort of thing my granddad gave us when I was 9 or 10.
Yeah.
You know, so I wanted something that reminded us of that.
That's a good basic knife.
Yeah, I like it. times are different now. Your granddads don't give knives to kids aged 9 or 10, but we used to go and like just whittle wood or go off and like build dens at the corner of farmers' fields and stuff like that. There you go, folks. Vegetable chilli with wild rice. It's a bit of a last minute put together thing. Cheapest chips, but it'll do for tonight. Doesn't look too bad. So the weather's really closed in. It's completely foggy and drizzly, but at least it hasn't started thundering and lightning, so there's that. But there's no views here at the minute. So actually I'm quite looking forward to just getting cozy in the tent.
You're talking cider in North America?
Yeah, because you've got cider and hard cider, and cider is apple juice, isn't it?
When I was growing up, you had apple juice and cider. Cider is kind of unrefined apple juice. You take cider,
So apple, yeah.
You take cider and you refine it more, and you get out the cloudy bit, so it then looks like, well, it looks like apple juice. It looks like pea almost.
Yeah.
Where cider was more farm oriented, and people used to make their own cider. But it's only the last 18-20 years that Strongbow broke into the North American market, and you could get cider, hard cider.
So when you grew up, you had the vast beauty of the Canadian wilderness, pristine and enigmatic, but you didn't have Strongbow.
Didn't have Strongbow.
I feel sorry for you, my friend.
We did without, you know, we're uncultured, we didn't have cider, we couldn't make snake bites.
No, snake bite in black.
Snake bite in black. Yeah. No, we just made moonshine instead, you know.
Yeah, I like the idea of that.
Hi guys, so Buddy Burnham's gone out now, and it was good crack. Me and Mark just sat talking, putting the world to rights. It's great because I never get to see him that often. He's a good lad. You can still hear the rain on the fly sheet, so I think that's great. I think I'll sleep well tonight. And I've got one more glass of Little Special. You know, I get wrong with my wife. I always talk about Lidl's, this and that, but it's where I get all my camping supplies from. She says, why can't you mention we shop at Marks and Spencer's once in a while? Because we didn't. I've got some yogurt for supper. It's can you see that? It's Graham's yogurt. Of course it is. And best of all, I've got a historical Antarctic survival novel to read, The Madhouse at the End of the Earth, about the voyage of the Belgica. And it's great because one of my kind of heroes of exploration, Roald Amundsen, this is one of his early journeys, and basically everybody goes mad, and it's terrible. But what a cracking read! Totally recommend it. And anyway, guys, good night. Good night.
Morning guys, absolutely awful night's sleep last night. I didn't expect much else after working night shift. I haven't been to bed before 9 o'clock in the morning the last few days, so I was never going to sleep. But at least I got to read my book a bit, and we've woken up to what is, it's not the most spectacular morning. But in honesty, I reckon any morning where you wake up in a tent is a good morning. So still pleased to get out. But my breakfast was a sip of water, and I think this weather deserves a proper breakfast.
There you go.